Hayley's adolescent son, Thomas Alfonso, who was apprenticed to Flaxman in 1795 and died in 1800 after a very long and debilitating illness, was already fatally ill when his father composed a poem for Flaxman's monument for Mary Blackshaw, daughter of William and Paulina Lushington, who lived in Chislehurst and had a townhouse in Devonshire Street. Now, William was the British agent in Granada, or Grenada, I think it's pronounced, and owned plantations in Jamaica, Trinidad, Grenada, and Mustique. They had over 500 slaves, mainly in Jamaica. And it would be interesting to work out how many of Flaxman's monuments were to slave owners. I think you'd find a considerable number, just as you would find would be the case with any monuments in churches. Now, Mrs. Lushington, it seems, had been to Chichester and had been so moved not only by Flaxman's monument to Collins, but amazingly also by Hayley's verses on it. So that she contacted Flaxman, who then wrote to Hayley, who replied on August the 12th, 1798, as follows: "What an interesting mother is your afflicted Mrs. Lushington. I have also a letter from her, which I am answering by this post. Your design for her daughter's monument delights me, and your pencil highly eloquent both. Pressed as I am for time, I will scrawl a copy of the epitaph, which I am sending her by this post, that you may tell me, with all the frankness of true friendship, if it harmonizes, as it ought to do, with your exquisite figures." Now, my personal favourite of all Flaxman's monuments is that to George Steevens, made after 1800, that was in the church of St. Matthias, Poplar. I don't know where the monument is now, because the church was deconsecrated, and it was lent to the Flaxman exhibitions in Hamburg and the Royal Academy in 1979, then was loaned to the Fitzwilliam, and I assume it went back to the Church of England, and probably not to the church, because that had been made into some kind of art centre. Here we can see Hayley's intervention in a less solemn light. Steevens was a famous Shakespearean scholar, known as a fierce controversialist and mocker of his friends, and Hayley was a schoolfellow of his and wrote the epitaph, which hardly gives a sense of the rambunctious nature of the man. He was also very vain and particularly proud of what J.T. Smith called his remarkably handsome legs. And I'm sure it is owed to Hayley that Flaxman has made a witty display of his outstretched leg. It is the only monument by Flaxman to exhibit humour of any kind.